Hello there, I'm Paul from dronesgear.com and this is a hands-on comparison between the new DJI Mavic Mini and the older DJI Spark. The only comparison you'll probably need because I will help you decide which one you want before the end. We'll go through everything you need to see, a range test, noise and stability test. We'll also look at the footage side by side and both zoomed in. Now let's get started. Some of you want to decide whether to upgrade from the Spark to the Mavic Mini and if that's even an upgrade. Or you may simply look to buy one of these two, maybe the Spark secondhand, since it's not even available in the DJI shop anymore. You can get it from the link in the description though and check the current price. They are priced about the same, so you should expect similar value from both of these, right? Let's talk a bit about battery life. In this department, the Mavic Mini destroys all competition, including even the Mavic Air. The 16 minutes of the DJI Spark is quite a bit less compared to the Mini's 30-minute flight time, almost half to be precise. By the way, the graphics that you see right here in the table on the right are taken from the article that I've written on dronesgear.com, which you can find a link for in the description or right here at the top. In real-life scenarios, you'll probably fly for 3 to 4 minutes less than the ideal numbers, so about 27 minutes max for the Mini and about 13 for the DJI Spark. We have a definite winner. Now let's speak about the range. Actually, battery life does have a big impact on the range that this drone has. Therefore, even though a DJI Spark can fly in FCC mode up to 3 kilometers, you might not be able to make it to that distance, film something and then get back safely. That's a bit of a stretch, especially in windy conditions. When it comes to the Mavic Mini versus the DJI Spark on paper, the Mini also gives the Spark a lot of trouble. The difference between them in FCC mode, which is if you buy them from the States, isn't that noticeable. The Spark flying just 1 kilometer less than the Mavic Mini, but if you buy them from Europe, things are going to differ a bit. I have done a side-by-side range test in the exact same conditions, from a high ground with no Wi-Fi interference that I know of, and I tested the Mavic Mini in CE mode, which is the distance for Europe. It went as far as 2.8 kilometers, even though the maximum range specified for Europe is about 2 kilometers. That's quite impressive. On the other hand, the Spark in CE mode flies for a maximum of 500 meters, but I experienced signal loss even at 300 meters away sometimes, which is really bad. I tested it in FCC mode too, because I can.
Hey guys, I'm Hackerman. Today I'm gonna show you how to hack common household objects back or forward in time.
And I got a bit over 1000 meters and I was already at below 60% of the battery at that point, and I couldn't go for much longer until I had to turn back or else it couldn't have returned, especially since there was a strong wind pushing against that direction. Now, is the weight difference that important? The actual weight difference between the Spark and Mavic Mini is tiny, but enough to make the Mavic Mini a drone that you don't have to register in the United States. If you want to see side-by-side differences between these drones, including the weight and size of each, check out the article in the description. How fast can these two drones fly? I initially thought the Mavic Mini would be much slower than the DJI Spark because it would have smaller motors and less overall power. However, that's not really the case. The Mavic Mini can fly up to 47 km per hour, while the Spark can reach 50 km per hour, a measly 3 km difference. The DJI Mavic Air has the big price with a 68 km per hour max speed in sport mode. Now let's talk a bit about obstacle sensors and indoors flight. Speaking about obstacle avoidance, both have bottom sensors for flying inside and better landing, but the Mavic Mini lacks the forward-facing sensors, even if it may look like it has them. The Spark has the slight advantage here with the forward-facing sensor. Personally, I usually deactivate the sensors just to have more freedom in flight, so I'm more than willing to compromise in this department. What about flying inside the house or indoors anywhere? This is something I would normally not recommend to do with an expensive DJI drone. Even so, the new Mavic Mini changed my perspective on that. As I put the prop guards on, I took one for the team and tried hitting the drone on a wall and nothing happened. The drone not only flies incredibly stable, it's also crash proof pretty much. You can also fly the Spark very stable indoors and use the prop guards that come with the Fly More combo, but I would think they're less safe since they only protect for lateral damage, not 360 degrees. Now let's talk a bit about the camera specs. Yet another category where the Mavic Mini beats the Spark. Do you really need to shoot 2.7K if you edit in 1080p anyway? Well, some of you asked if the upgrade is worth it and if you're going to edit in 1080p anyway. And the answer is yes. If you're looking to get a better image quality, recording in 2.7K actually makes a difference even if you edit in a lower resolution. Plus, you'll be able to zoom in to much higher detail if you want to change the framing of the shot or do some post-processing stabilization. The article on DronesGator, where you can compare both the footage and the photos in real time by dragging a scroll bar side by side. Another easy way to tell how good the camera records details is the bitrate. This is basically a number of bits of information that's processed in a unit of time. The Spark comes with 24 megabits per second camera, while the Mavic Mini has a 40 megabits per second one. This makes quite some difference in the amount of detail you can capture in the picture. Another point for the DJI Mavic Mini. So, camera settings, which one is better for professionals? Unfortunately, the Mavic Mini doesn't have the option to change ISO and shutter speed manually while recording video, and that's a shame because it means you can't really use precise image adjustments in a professional setting. The automatic mode does a great job for most people though. This means that you can't really use ND filters, but I do feel like DJI could have simply made a software adjustment for changing that. I mean, the Spark does come with adjustable ISO and shutter speed, and the camera is older. Now let's get to the fun stuff, the footage and photo comparison. There's an obvious difference between the Mavic Mini and the Spark, especially when zooming in, and that's obviously because of the resolution. I'll let you decide though which one you like best by showing you the actual footage comparison. Let's talk a bit about the transmitter and the mobile apps. The Mavic Mini transmitter is as simple as it gets. No LCD display, no back custom buttons, just the return to home button, the camera and photo button, the scroll wheel for the camera, and the sticks do feel a bit more plasticky than the other DJI drones so far, but it works just as great and they are removable. The Spark controller is about the same, but with a few more buttons. Pause button, a sport mode button, a custom button, the return to home one, and a turn on button. Let's talk a bit about flight modes. This is one of the important drawbacks of the Mavic Mini, if you care a lot about them. You see, the Mavic Mini uses a new app called DJI Fly, and it's tailored more for beginners and simplicity in general. It still has the main functions and settings like setting up the return to home height, gimbal sensitivity and some camera resolution settings, but it definitely lacks some of the important features. Like the fact that the Mavic Mini doesn't come with a follow me mode. A bit of a disappointment here, as the Mavic Mini also doesn't come with some of the flight modes we expect from DJI drones, like waypoints, follow me, course lock and more. Both the Spark and the Air have really good follow me modes and generally a few more flight modes compared to the Mavic Mini, which is quite stripped down to the basics. The Mini does come with quick shots like drone, helix, orbit, etc. that can actually use subject tracking while you're doing them, so it is there. This basically means that it follows the subject but while circling around. Now the big question, is it worth it to upgrade from the Spark to the Mavic Mini? I would say that in most cases it's a yes. If you were happy with your old Spark, you probably wouldn't be watching this video right now, would you? Just do yourself a favor and upgrade to the better drone. If you sell your current Spark and put a bit more on the top, you're easily getting a newer and overall better quad to play with and even take some professional looking photo and video. If you only take photos with a drone, it's worth changing at least for the battery life and the longer range. So which one do you decide to buy? Are you upgrading from the Spark? Do you even have any of these drones? Please leave a comment down in the description. And if you have decided to buy the Mavic Mini, please click the buying link in the description, as you'll pay the best price you can find for it and I will get a small commission fee. That will greatly reward my efforts of doing these videos for you guys. Don't forget to check the next recommended video for you right here. Check the drones for sale tool right here. Or if you want, you can subscribe and hit the bell notification icon if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching and see you later, alligator.